How should you interpret your genetic test results? Does having the gene associated with a specific disease mean you are damned to manifesting that disease? This is a key question that you must understand for your own anxiety about your future health risks and for information on how to take the best action to promote future health in yourself. This was a question that I discussed with a patient today, and I want to now discuss with you. I'm Dr. John Bartemus, and I'm putting the pieces together to help you live a life at optimal. Your genetics load the gun, but the environment pulls the trigger. I'll say that again. Your genetics, the results on your genetic testing, load the gun, but the environment or your lifestyle pulls the trigger. Meaning, you may have a gene that makes you more susceptible, say, for Alzheimer's disease. Does that mean you're damned to Alzheimer's disease? No. You may have a gene, say the BRCA1 gene, that increase risk of breast cancer. Does that mean you're damned to have breast cancer in your life if you have that gene? No. All that means is that the gun is loaded, but you must pull the trigger with your lifestyle choices and your environmental exposures. If you make the right choices and avoid the wrong environmental exposures, you could live your whole life with that gene representing the susceptibility to that disease and never manifest it. That's powerful. So what really matters is how you're living and what you're exposed to. Think of the gene as a light switch in the off position, okay? You could have the BRCA1 gene, which confers a breast cancer susceptibility increased risk in you, but the light switch is in the off position. If the gene equaled breast cancer, then every woman and man with the BRCA1 gene would manifest breast cancer. It would truly be a genetic disease. Having the gene damns you to having the disease. Is that what we see? No, that's not what we see. There are hundreds of thousands of people with the BRCA1 gene in the off position that never experience breast cancer because that light switch is never turned on by any number and combination of lifestyle factors and environmental exposures. So the key to prevent the breast cancer if you have the BRCA1 gene isn't to go do a prophylactic double mastectomy. The key is to figure out what are the lifestyle choices you need to make and what are the environmental exposures you need to avoid to prevent that light switch from being turned on and that gene then expressing breast cancer. So relevant to breast cancer, we know that smoking increases the risk. Big time mental, emotional stress increases the risk. Alcohol increases the risk. Anything that's estrogenic increases the risk. So things like soy potentially, and those sorts of things. So you want to avoid toxic exposures that are endocrine disruptors and may promote estrogenic physiology. So the point is, keep your light switch in the off position by making the right choices and avoiding the wrong exposures. The gene loads the gun, the environment pulls the trigger. So just because you have a test result on a 23andMe or a more specific genetic test that's telling you you have an increased susceptibility for an Alzheimer's or a breast cancer, that does not damn you to it. Science is finding out more and more every day that the genetic theory of health and disease is wrong. It's more about epigenetics, what's turning that light switch on or off. That's control from above, epi, the gene, genetics, epigenetics. So science is showing that it's lifestyle and it's environmental exposures that determine it, not the gene. And this is powerful because if gene equal disease, then you're damned to it and you have no hope and you might as well take a pharmaceutical because all we can do is palliate you until you die, right? That's the hopeless model of genetics. But if it's epigenetics, if gene does not equal disease, if lifestyle choices and environment influence whether the disease manifests or not, that provides you hope, because now you're empowered to know, okay, there are choices I can make and things I can avoid to prevent that light switch from being turned on, or that gene from being expressed, or that disease from manifesting. And excuse me, being empowered with that information gives you hope to prevent it from ever happening. Or if that gene's been turned on, it gives you hope because you know actions you can take to reverse the flipping on of that light switch and flip it back off. So epigenetics is key. Understanding this is key to interpreting your genetic results and not creating unnecessary anxiety and angst about future disease because you don't understand what these results truly mean. If you want to learn more about this, partner with a functional medicine practitioner that knows more about this and can walk you through it, and do other testing of your physiology to say, okay, these factors are currently going on in your physiology and need to be addressed to prevent the turning on of your light switch. I'm Dr. John Bartemus, and I partner with people daily on their health journeys to answer these questions. If you'd like to work with me, reach out at functionalmedicinecharlotte.com.